Hi, I'm Pat and welcome back to the channel. I just installed this new pressure washer to the wall of my garage and I am very impressed with it. So you're going to want to check this video out for the installation and review of this Giraffe Tools pressure washer. If you're new to the channel, please click on the subscribe button and ring that bell for notifications. I like producing cool car and garage content and you're not going to want to miss it. Before we get to the unboxing, this is the Giraffe Tools 2200 PSI pressure washer. That means it can have up to a maximum of 2200 PSI, which is great for washing cars and cleaning some things around the house. Now what's really neat about this one, it actually has its own pressure hose attached directly to the unit. And that's a 100-foot pressure hose. Working pressure is 1700 PSI. It has the automatic rewind, multi-angle rotating nozzle. This is a very cool product and I'm very thankful for Giraffe Tools for sending it out to me. This is the first step of your dream garage. Gear that works so hard, you don't have to. All right, let's get to unboxing this unit. Now, if you're interested in this Giraffe Tools pressure washer, there are links in the description below for your convenience to make it easier for you to acquire one of these for your garage. So let's get started. Here in the top of the box, we have a set of instructions. Very nice. We do have the wand that attaches to the pressure trigger. We do have a series of attachments, nozzles, and some hardware for attaching this to the wall. We also have a bottle for when we're spraying any type of soap or sealant. And we have a few extra tools that are in here, including a level. Very nice. Now underneath the styrofoam here, this is where the meat and potatoes is at. So here we have our actual trigger for our wand. And then inside the box here is the unit itself. I'm just going to go ahead and make sure that I can get a good grip on this because it is not light. Well, here's also another hose. Let me go ahead and pull this out. All right, so here's the unit itself. I'm going to go ahead and take the plastic cover off here. Everything is in very good working condition. And here is the front of the unit. Okay, here is the attachment for where the wand attaches. Water is going to attach on this side. And of course here on the back is our mounting block. And here's the power cord with its built-in breaker and reset. And here's some information that came in the packet. Of course, it gives us some after use tips as well as the manual itself. Now let's just take a look inside the manual here and see what we got. So we've got contents, very well. Here's dimensions for the product as well as some of the specifications. Some of the things you're going to need in order to install this. And of course, like even the operating temperature. We want to make sure that this stays indoors during the winter. There's a lot of things that can possibly break if this freezes. With the water inside, of course, the water expands. You don't want that breaking, so we want to make sure this stays indoors and well within that operating temperature. Of course, here's an exploded diagram of all the different pieces, and this mounting block, of course, actually separates from the unit itself, so you can take it on and off the wall. So we want to confirm that all the parts are included. We check for any possible damage, and they give you some safety rules here as well. You definitely want to read these and make sure you stay alert. So of course, here we go. We got our first steps in how to fix the wall base and of course how we're going to mount that, how we're going to install and configure the wand and how well it works, steps for storage, environmental storage, of course the temperature, we're making sure we only use it between those temperature ranges, as well as a chart back here that talks about some of the problems that you may have and the solutions. It does have a 2-year warranty and you can actually reach out to the company if you need to in order to get any type of warranty claim satisfied. Now it also looks like they have several other products here which are really cool. I've not used Giraffe Tools in the past, but there are a few items here that look quite interesting to me. I may actually want to check those out as well. So here we are. This is the guide that we're going to use in order to get started with installing this new pressure washer. So I went ahead and removed all my old pressure washer equipment and have the new pressure washer here on the floor. So we want to take this mounting bracket off the back, and that's real easy. We're just going to undo this tie here and pull it straight down. So here on the back of the unit is the mounting plate, and you're supposed to use a 1/2-inch drill to install the anchor in the wall and then use this lag bolt in order to attach this mounting plate to the wall. So what I decided to do in my case, however, is a little bit different. I've removed 2 of the bolts that hold my slat wall onto the wall because I can actually place this over those exact 2 holes here and here. Now this goes right into a stud, so I don't need to put anchors here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill these out, and I only need a 1/4 inch in order to fit that exact lag bolt. So the lag bolt is a 1/4 inch. So I'm going to go ahead and drill this out a 1/4 inch and install 2 of the lag bolts here on this side. Then on this side I can line up exactly where I need to put my anchors in order to install the other bolts. And I'm going to use a 1/2 inch socket in order to screw in these lag bolts. Now I went ahead and tightened these down just so they're kind of snug so that I can verify the actual level. So I'm using the level that came with the kit, and I'm verifying that this is perfectly level. So now I can go ahead and start to drill other holes here to mount my anchors, because then I'm going to use these lag bolts to actually go into the drywall portion. These are in the studs, these will not be. So these are very secure as is, but I definitely need to install these other 2. That way this entire unit can support the pressure washer. So now that everything's mounted up on this side, I'm just going to go ahead and draw onto the wall exactly where my edges are located, and that way I can then start to drill. So I took a punch and just put a tiny little hole in each spot so I can then start a pilot hole. And this gets me started in the slat wall, so then I could use a bigger 1/2 inch drill. Now I could take the anchors and place them in the holes, and I'm just going to tap them in slightly with this mallet. Now I'm going to take my mounting plate and I'm going to reinstall the 2 that go into the studs and make sure that everything lines up just perfectly fine, and run the other ones in through the anchors. All right, everything looks great here. I can now install the unit directly on the wall. It's not going anywhere. Awesome. So I could have went a little bit higher with this. I could have actually installed it higher, but I needed some clearance above it to be able to put it on the wall. So let's take another look from further back. All right, so here's the unit on the wall. I used a small step stool in order to make sure I can get up high enough. So on this side over here is our power cord, terrific. On this side over here is our water inlet, perfect, because that's where my water is going to be. So let's get the rest of this hooked up. The next step in our instructions is to attach the wand to the pressure hose. We want to make sure this is lined up properly, and then go ahead and screw it down. And then the next step is to take the extension and to press it onto the end of this wand here. And notice that there's some holes here. These actually hold the little nozzle attachment. So I'm going to want to position this up so that when I'm holding it, that those are facing up. I believe that would make it look absolutely perfect. And then I can go ahead and also tighten this down. We also want to make sure this is in the off position. So this trigger needs to be completely forward and not pushed down. So that's exactly where it needs to be. That way when we turn the water unit on, we're not getting any water out at the end of the wand. Next, we're going to connect our hose that allows us to get water into the unit. Now it does come with this adapter, and there's a screen in here. So we want to actually take this and install this in the side of the unit, and then install the hose into this, and then connect this to our water source. And that's what it looks like when it's connected. Next, we're going to go ahead and run this directly into our water source. In my case, it's a filter, but in your case, it may just be the spigot. Now that I've snugged up my connection on the water filter, I can go ahead and turn the water back on. And now I can actually start to pull the trigger on the wand. I'm going to let some air out of the system first, and eventually we're going to get water. There we go. Next, I'm going to go ahead and pull the unit out so that I can actually test it, but I want to test it under pressure outside. So I've unraveled this almost to the end of my driveway, and I got plenty of hose left. I'm going to go ahead and rotate this to the on position. Of course, I have it plugged into my outlet here. So now we're on and we're ready to go. I can go ahead and install this at the end of the wand. That way I actually have some way of spraying, and let's see how this thing works. Hey, we got spray and I can hear it kicking on and off in there. So let me just get a little bit closer to the garage so you can hear what this sounds like. Don't mind the mess, of course. I've been filming and stuff, so there's stuff everywhere. Awesome. So this doesn't actually continue to run the whole time, which is what I love. When I'm not using the pressure washer, I don't want this thing to be making a ton of noise. This is great. I really like having this unit on the wall. I like having that I could go ahead and pull out my my hose, my pressure hose, run all the way to the end of my driveway. I can wash all my cars, which is what we're going to do next. So let's say I'm done taking care of everything I want to wash with this pressure washer. I'm going to go through the process of putting it back away. So I want to go ahead and turn it off. I want to disconnect the power source completely. And I also want to go ahead and turn off my water. So I have this quick disconnect right here that allows me to turn off anything going to my filtering system. So this is no longer getting pressure. We want to take the pressure off of this first before we go ahead and have it retract. Awesome. So now the pressure house has absolutely no pressure in it. I can walk this to the end of the driveway and initiate the automatic reel, because it's very powerful actually. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure this is all nice and straight, and at this point I can give it a pull and then walk it back into the unit itself, and it's actually coiling it up automatically for me. This is nice. I no longer have to walk up a hose back into my garage. I'm literally just holding it in my hand and it's reeling it perfectly. Look at that. I mean, this is terrific. It actually has this unit right here that makes sure that it reels it perfectly. So here we go. We're going all the way back in. Boom. You don't want to actually let this go. You want to hold this in your hand, because this is a very powerful spring in here that allows you to retract this entire unit. This is very nice. I can go ahead and I can hang this here if I'd like. There we go. So there it is. It's installed on the wall. It's working perfectly. I'm going to go ahead and pull it back out, and I'm going to start to wash one of the cars and show you exactly how well it does its job. I put some of my favorite cleaning solution in here, which is diluted, and I can actually install this part of the foam cannon on top. So this came with the unit as well, and I do have a foam cannon that I usually use, but I'm going to test out this foam cannon to see exactly how much foam it will produce. Now I'm using Mr. Pink by Chemical Guys in here, diluted in water, and I'm actually going to spray the side of my truck. I'm going to get it wet, and then we're going to foam it up, and we're going to see how well it sprays back off. So now I've gone ahead and wet the truck down. I can remove the unit here at the end. I can plug it right in here. That's convenient. And now I can install the foam cannon on the end. Just got to retract this. You can push the foam cannon in, make sure it's nice and tight. Now let's see what kind of foam we get. I may have to adjust this knob here at the top as well as this here in order to change exactly how much foam I get and the pattern that I get. I'm pretty impressed. Yeah, this does a great job with Mr. Pink. Look at that. And I really didn't adjust the knob at the top, but I did make sure that I changed the fan here to tighten up a little bit of that spray. That looks great. And one final note before I go ahead and reel this back up. This pressure hose glides along the pavement nicely. It's very hard to get hung up on things. Even as I'm coming around here and may come up against the tire, it's actually rolling past the tire very nicely. So I'm very happy with the hose. I'm very happy with the unit overall. So now I'm going to go ahead and reel it back up and provide my final thoughts. All right, I have it all reeled back up, got my power source connected there, and there's even a place to put your unused leftover detergent in the bottle directly in here. This is nice that it has this little cup holder, because when you try to stand this up anywhere else, it just falls over. This is just too heavy. That's how it is with all foam cannons. This one's nice. It already has a place to put it. That is a great idea. So just a few final thoughts on the unit itself. Make sure you mount it very securely. The hardware is excellent. It allows it to be mounted on that mounting bracket perfectly, and if you want to take it off, you can lift it up and take it off. Now, you don't want to store this unit outside in cold weather. You want to make sure that it's brought inside or it's completely drained. You never want to leave it, obviously, freeze. The maximum pressure is 2200, so it actually works on most things, but vehicles, no problem. I had no problem with using it on the vehicle. I trust it with my paint. And the nice thing about this thing is it's a time saver. I don't have to reel anything up with this thing. This is the first step to your dream garage. And this is gear that works so hard that you don't have to. I really like it. Now, if you do want to get one of these for yourself, there's links in the description. Be sure to click on it. They're there for your convenience. If you like today's video, please be sure to give me a big thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please click on the subscribe button and ring that bell for notifications. I like producing cool car content. You're not going to want to miss it. Thanks for watching, and happy motoring.